In our news bulletin for this evening, unexpected power cuts and faults affected communications. Environment closed the Makato and Amano dump sites while they identify a plan to minimize solid waste. Wakaama picks up momentum with youth on the island. Police continue to caution locals to follow the road safety rules as there have been a number of motor vehicle accidents. Both the Niue High School and Niue Primary School were without power this morning. The power outage was caused by a fault with a transformer located near Niue High School. Areas affected residents at the nearby high school and down to where the old sawmill site was at the top of Peta Hill. There was concern about schools remaining open without any power or water. However, power was restored earlier than expected. There was also a power outage in the early hours of Monday morning, and sources from the power station at Toila said this was due to faults in the fuel supply to the generating sets. Reports from powerhouses that it is looking at the quality of fuel supply Niue has been getting and to clean out the fuel tanks that are over 40 years old. It is also looking at maybe adding fuel additives to the diesel fuel, which is a much cheaper option than having a reconditioned fuel injectors and other relevant parts on the gensets that could be caused by the fuel quality. General Manager for Niue Power, Warren Haloto, said that this is part of making sure we have the expertise to maintain our generators until solar power is fully utilized to help provide power to Niue. Niue Power now have 4 generating sets in full operation after a period of having only a couple of gensets supplying power to the whole island. Waste management is an ongoing issue for the island, and the Environment Department has issued reminders for residents to stop dumping rubbish at the Amano site and Makato entrance. The site at Amano has been used to dispose of scrap metal, but recently there has been an increase of waste and it has reached capacity. Makato dump site has also reached peak again, and it appears that people are continuing to dump their rubbish at the road or entrance, which is becoming a bad habit. According to the Environment Department, the rubbish collection contractor uses only one rubbish dump site at the moment, and that is in Vaya, but they're looking at alternatives and ways to minimize waste. With the development of a glass recycling plant at the old fish factory at Amano, people are being told to separate their household waste and to take any glass-based materials to be disposed of at the old fish factory. Government has also indicated that a waste recycling centre will be developed, but that project is still in its scoping phase. Consultations earlier this year were held to determine what needs to go into plans to map out activities leading up to the establishment of a proper waste management facility that is sustainable. The project will be managed by the Project Management Coordination Unit at the Whalefono, who say there also needs to be a change in the mindsets of people to segregate household waste and look at the recycling alternatives. The aim is to have a project document completed by the end of this month to move into the next phase, and this will be a more holistic, integrated and strategic approach to finding solutions for the waste management problems here in Niue. Youth participation and interest in outrigging has picked up since the 6-man outrigger canoes have been on the island. The vessels were brought in as part of attempts by the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries to give young people alternatives and encouragement towards agriculture and fisheries. For the past 4 weeks, different groups have ventured out on the water to learn the basics and also take part in team-building exercises. We spoke to Presley Villiamu, who has been mentoring a number of local youth while he has been on the island, and we went to find out what the response has been like.
It's really good, good response from the youth. They've been, turning up, and a few of the kids don't turn up at all, but no, it's very good.
What types of things do you teach them?
Actually, just the general safety on the water. We do we just did a huli drill, which is capsizing the outrigger and knowing the role of each paddler on the outrigger and just the basic technique of paddling and the fitness side of things as well.
The outrigger canoes are stationed at the wharf, and that poses its own challenges in trying to launch off.
It takes a bit because, using the crane to actually lift the canoe on the water. But before that happens, the safety thing again, safety drill, the basic technique, all of that come into place, and having the crew placed different paddlers on a certain seats. And just encouraging the kids to come out, because Niue is so blessed to have these two canoes over here at the moment, and is quite thankful that it finally happened. Just the dynamics of the paddlers. So normally you have the smaller paddlers in the front, number 1 and 2, and you have the bigger paddlers in the middle of the canoe, number 3 and 4 and 5, which is the powerhouse of the canoe. So they generate power in there.
Being a paddler yourself and going to different competitions, what do you think they need?
They need the encouragement from the community, from the island. You need the commitment. Expect the life change and in terms of being a competitor. Having that drive and be passionate about it, because this is not new to us as Polynesian Pacific Islanders, Niueans. It's in us, so it makes sense. In terms of paddling, paddling is already breathed into us. It's in our genes, it's in our blood. No matter what, generation, our ancestors have always been paddlers. So be proud of what we have, and like I said, it's not only sport for us. This is our culture as well. So the commitment is the main thing, and you get to travel all over the world and paddle and compete. And you meet different people. You can learn from those people as well as you go. The good thing about the outrigger is the whole family can be involved. It's one of the only sport out there that the whole family can actually compete or can get out there and paddle.
The afternoon sessions with youth also depend on the conditions, but so far the sessions have been productive. There is potential for this to develop into a competitive sport, but this is also dependent on the interest and commitment to keep the momentum going.
Make the commitment, just like anything, any sport, be part of it. It's a team sport, and have that team spirit, having that positive thought. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
These outrigger canoes are quite expensive, and it is important that those who would like to use them are responsible for their safety, and care is applied to avoid damaging the canoes. Percy says that an ideal location to launch off would be at Awasele. However, he is hoping that young people continue to show interest and take this up as a sport. 2 motor vehicles were involved in separate accidents over the weekend, and the Niue police are cautioning motorists to follow road rules to prevent future accidents. Early Sunday morning, a young man under the influence of alcohol and speeding crashed his vehicle into a coconut tree at the entrance of the village of Mutalo, escaping with minor injuries. Police also received reports that a vehicle went off the road at Lalukafika. When police got to the accident site, the vehicle had been removed. Chief Edwards is deeply concerned and wishes to remind the public that it is against the law to remove any vehicle without permission from police. The incident is also still under investigation. There were also incidents or an occurrence of willful damage of a vehicle by a community member of Vaea on Sunday morning, and that was also provoked by influence of alcohol. It is still under investigation. The festive season is near, and Chief Tony Edwards says that there will be additional checkpoints set up to prevent any more accidents, and motorists are to follow the road rules. No drink driving and no speeding. That concludes our news bulletin for this evening. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.